Welcome to Live Daf, your online Daf Yomi Shir.
Shalom Aleichem, welcome back. Today's Daf Hayomi is Nazir Daf Samach. We are holding at the Mishnah, which is on Nun Tesamad Beis 5 from the bottom. So actually, this Mishnah we had already mentioned a couple of times back in the Masechta, but now we're going to elaborate on it and explain it in greater detail. Nazir shaya tamei besafek umuchat besafek. We have a Nazir who's very confused, unsure whether he touched tumas meis, which requires cancellation of his nazirus. He needs the paraduma, shave, karbanos tuma, which is the chata soif, oila soif, and the asham, and then restart the nazirus anew, at the end of which he will shave again, and bring karbanos tahara, which is comprised of 3 animals, chatas, oila, and a shlamim. Okay, he's not sure whether he's tamei b'safek. On top of that, umuchat b'safek. He's unsure of whether he's a mitzora. Requires a double haircut. One at the conclusion of his tzaras, when he's healed of his nega, then waits 7 days and shaves again. Each time he needs to bring some sort of like a carbon. The first time he needs to bring a pair of birds, which are tended to outside the Beis HaMikdash. One is shechted, one is sent away. On account of teklachas number 2, he brings more karbanis. In any case, this fellow is totally unsure of where he's holding in the world. Am I a Nazir Tahir? Am I a Nazir Tameh? Am I a Mitzera? Am I not? Now, before we begin the sugya, Tosfos presents for us 2 kolalim that we are meant to know to give us clarity and gain traction in the sugya. Firstly, a Mitzera, because he's experiencing a very personal tumah. It's a tumah hayotzes migufay, personally produced tumah. Until he brings his karbanis at the conclusion of his tahara process, he may not have karbanis. He's called a mechusar kippurim. This doesn't apply to a regular tamei, like a tamei mace. Number 2, we are meant to know that if a fellow is a mitzera, on top of being a nazir, he first needs to address the tzaras, the double haircut, the karban, and then can go over and take care of the nazirus. So it's in that order. First you address the mitzora aspect, and then the nazirus. Okay? So knowing that, let's start again. Nazir sheyatame b'safek, muchlat b'safek. His fellow is a safek tamei, a safek tar, a safek muchlat, which means a definite mitzora, and maybe he's not a mitzora at all. Muchlat b'safek. At what point can he go back and have karbanis? Oychel b'kachim achar shishim yom. After 60 days, twice 30, he has access to eating karbanis again. He is free of his nega. V'sheise yain. But he must wait 120 days to be sure that he's no longer a nazir, and he can access wine and tumas meis. The Gemara will explain. But first, let's see the end of the Mishnah. Question is, why does he have to wait so long? Typically, there's only 7 days between the 2 haircuts of a mitzvah. Here he's going to wait much more than 7 days. The answer is because, sure, the tiglachas of tzaras pushes aside, it overrides, it surpasses the tiglachas on nazir. Bizman shuvade. Only when he knows with certainty that he's a mitzvah. So the asay of tiglachas mitzvah pushes aside the isser of tiglachas nazir. So if he would be positive about his tzaras, of course he wouldn't have to wait so long. He would just do a haircut, another haircut, move on. Aval bizman shu sofek ein yadoicha. However, in this case, where he doesn't know whether he's a mitzvah, so he has to take into account all possibilities, cover all bases. He can't just shave as though he's a mitzvah. He must entertain the possibility that he's really not a mitzvah and perhaps only a nazir, in which case he can't just shave at will, as we're going to see in the Gemara. So that explains why he needs to wait so long. Tana, we learned in the Brisa. When do we apply the number 120, 60 and 120? B'nazirus mu'etes by a short, standard 30-day Nazirus. Aval b'nazirus b'ashana. But if it's a long Nazirus, a year-long Nazirus, then we have to multiply that by 4. Just like we multiplied 30 by 4. Here it's multiplying a year by 4. So 2 years into this 4-year experience will allow him kachim. He has access to korbanis after 2 years. And at what point does he know that he's no longer a Nazir? With certainty, after 4 years. Okay? So in the Mishnah we learn, you count 30 and another 30, total of 60. Now you know you're certainly not a Mitzvah. You can eat korbanis. Another 30 plus another 30 for a total of 120. Now you're no longer a Nazir. And in the case of a Nazirus, which is a year long, you have to do it 4 times, so 4 years in total. V'tanya. Now we have learned in a brisa which explains this halacha. How do we get to 120 or to 4 years? What's he going to do throughout that, those 4 years? Umegaleach arba tiglachis. So this confused Nazir will actually undergo 4 haircuts to cover all possibilities. Tiglachas rishona. So now he waits 30 days. Okay, in the case of the standard Nazirus, 30 days in, he takes his first haircut. Now, I'm not sure whether, maybe this is for my tzaras, my first tzaras haircut. Of course, the nega is gone, obviously, right? So I'm ready to purify myself. So 30 days into the system, I do haircut number 1. Could be this is... Now, how many possibilities do we have? This could be haircut number 1 of the tzaras. This could be the haircut for my Nazirus Tumah. Maybe I was Tameh as a Nazir and not a Mitzvah. This could be just a plain Tiglachas Nazirus Tahara. Maybe I'm really Tahar. So we have 3 possibilities here. And that explains the karbanis that I'll bring right now. Tiglachas Rishayna, maybe Tziparim. He brings those birds, right? A pair of birds. One of them is shechted, one of them is sent out. Maybe Tziparim. This is on account of the possibility that I'm a Mitzvah. V'chatas oif. He brings a bird chatas, just in case he's a Nazir Tameh, and that's the carbon for that. V'oilas behema, just in case he's a Nazir Tahar, he brings an animal for an oila, which is part of the Nazirus Tahara, and that's enough to allow him to shave. We have learned in the Mishnah way back that Giluach works even on 1 carbon. Okay, so 30 days, shave, and 3 of these karbanis. The birds, the chatas oif, oilas behema. Now we covered all possibilities. Nega, Nazirus Tumah, Nazirus Tahara. Next. 30 days later, you see, I can't just shave in 7 days for tzaras because I don't know if I'm a tzara. Right? That's what the Mishnah was pointing out. You can't just take your chances. Maybe I'm really just a Nazir. So you have to wait another 30 days to get through the Nazirus. Shniya, so 30 days later, he undergoes the process all over again. Shaves and brings karbanos as follows. Now, we have 3 possibilities, but a bit different than before. Perhaps I was a Mitzvah. So now this is haircut 2 of the tzaras. And maybe he's a Nazir Tahar. Right? I can't be a Nazir Tameh anymore. That would have been taken care of last time. So now there are only 2 possibilities, right? Either haircut 2 of the tzaras, if I was a Mitzvah, or if I wasn't a Mitzvah, even if I was just a Nazir Tameh, I took care of that last time, 30 days ago. Now it's just a Nazirus Tahara. So Shniya, the second time around, 30 days later, he cuts again, and he brings karbanos as follows. Maybe chatas oif. He brings the chatas oif because, as Tosfos points out, a second tiglachas of Metzora requires this carbon. And maybe I'm just a plain Nazir Tahar, Voilas Behema, for that. Shlishis, now, 30 days later, what could be now? Well, look, we have a double possibility. Either I was a Metzora, so the first and second haircuts were for that. Right? Now, that's out of the way. What could still be? Well, I could have been a Nazir tummy as well, and we explained before. First, you have to address the tzaras, and now I can approach the Nazir's tumah. Nazir's, that's tummy. Right? So the third haircut addresses two possibilities. Perhaps I'm a Nazir tummy, and that's what the Tiglachas is about. Or I'm just a plain Nazir Tahar, because I was perhaps a Metzora, which was already addressed, and now I'm just a Nazir Tahar. So Shlish is maybe Chatas Oif. I bring a Chatas Oif for the Nazir tummy possibility, Voilas Behema for the Nazir Tahar possibility. And Revius, the fourth time around, 30 days later, I shave again, but now there's only one possibility, Nazirus Tahara. Everything else is out of the way. And therefore, maybe Karban Tahara. I bring the Karbanis for Nazirus Tahara. Explains the Gemara further. Amrus. Let's just go back to what you told me. Tiglachas Rishoina, maybe V'chulu. So 30 days into the system, I bring those as Karbanis to address, the three possibilities that could be, present at that first haircut. And the Gemara now will elaborate and go through all the, different possibilities and explain how we, in fact, cover all possibilities and all scenarios. Shaper Kamaisi. So 30 days into the system, I shave, I bring birds, Tzipayrim, for the Metzora, Chata Sa'if, for the Nazir tummy, and Oilas Behema for Nazir Tar. The Gemara will explain. Either way, I'm fully covered. I've done well. Why? If we entertain the possibility that I'm really a Metzora, V'lav Tamayu, and not a Nazir tummy, okay, so Tzipayrim Chayvasai. The pair of birds, those are the birds for the Metzora. V'chata Sa'if Safik. Okay, he brought the Chata Sa'if on account of the suffix, and that's allowed. Azal L'Kvura, that we brought in the Mizbeach, the dam. But in contrast to your typical Chata Sa'if, which is consumed by Kehanim, this one will be buried because we're not sure whether it is really required and really, kosher. V'oila Havina Dava, the third behema, the third carbon, the Oilas behema, on account of the Nazirus Tahara, perhaps I'm just a Metzora, so that's a Nadav, it's a donation. That's okay, that's fair, that's legal. Now, question, why do I have to wait another 30 days for the second haircut? Typically, a Metzora just waits 7 days. The answer is, I can't just wait 7 days and do the second Metzora haircut. Maybe I'm not a Metzora. Maybe he's not really a Metzora. Rachmana Amar. And the Torah doesn't allow. Maybe he's not a Metzora, maybe he's a Nazir. What does the Pasuk say? Tar lo yavar al reishay. Nazir may not shave. Ad melois. Till he's done the Nazirus. So that answers why he can't shave 7 days later. Rather, he'll have to wait another 30 days for that second installment. So one possibility is that he's a Metzora, and the Tziparin were to address that scenario. Vilav Metzora Vadayavi. Maybe he wasn't really a Metzora. What then? Vu Tameh, he was a regular Nazir who became Tameh Tumas Meis. Okay, that's fine. Chatas Oiv Chayvasai, so the Chatas bird took care of that. V'tziparin Avroikim is Avdin. What about the other birds that he brought for the Tzaras? Well, they're taken care of outside. They're addressed outside the Azara. That's where, he shechted. In which case, there's no concern about bringing a non-carbon to the Azara. It was really outside the Beis HaMikdash. No concern there. And then Voilas Behema having Nedava. The Behema animal, the Oila animal is a Nedava for the Beis HaMikdash. That's fine. So this works if I was either a Metzora or a Nazir Tameh. What about none of the above? Vilav Metzorahu, Vilav Tamehu. Let's say he was not a Metzora or a Nazir Tameh. He was just a plain Nazir Tahar. Okay, that's fine. Tzipar and Avroikim es Abdin. The birds that he brought for the Tzaras, okay, they were taken care of outside the Mikdash, no concern. Chata Soif L'Kvura, the Chata Soif, which wasn't really necessary, goes L'Kvura anyways. Oilas Behema V'Chavase. The Oilas Behema is really what I'm meant to bring for my Nazirus Tahara. So I'm all covered. Asks the Gemara, but V'abai Asham. If I was a Nazir Tami, I need to bring also an Asham. You're right, says the Gemara. Reb Shimoni, the Amar Maisi Umasni. According to Reb Shimon, there's an easy solution to that too. I'll bring it by him, I'll say, if I'm meant to bring the Asham, let it be my Asham. Otherwise, it'll be a Shlamim. And according to Reb Shimon, you can do that. In contrast to the Chachamim, who don't allow it. Because you realize an Asham has a shorter lifespan than a Shlamim. Shlamim lasts for 2.5 days. Shnei Yamim V'Layla Echad. But a Asham needs to be consumed within a day and a night. So you can't just take your chances. Bring a carbon and say, look, either it's a Shlamim or an Asham, because then, if it's really a Shlamim, you're going to be forced to burn it after a day and a half. That's a problem. Reb Shimon is not concerned. He says, the main thing is that, your Yaitza, your Chiyuv, it addresses his possible obligations. That factor overrides this other concern of burning the carbon prematurely, and therefore, according to Reb Shimon, no problem, bring the Asham as well. So all this was to explain in detail, to give us all the factors involved in that first haircut. Okay, so 30 days in, haircut with all these karbanis, addressing every single possible possibility. Okay, now let's go on to the second and third haircuts. 30 days later, another haircut. 30 days beyond that, your third haircut. Shnei Shlishis, what happens during those haircuts? Well, one thing is certainly deducted from his list, from his shopping list. He doesn't need those birds. Even if he was a mitzvah, those birds he'd already brought that first time. The Ovid, he already brought them. Micah, what is still on the agenda here? Maybe he in fact was a mitzvah mukhlat. So now it's haircut number 2 of Tzaras. So in fact, Chadal Safik Sfarai. So haircut number 2 is going to be a suffix to Glachas of Yimei Safri, which is the second haircut of the Mitzvah. So his nega disappears, he shaves, waits 7 days, counts 7 days, Yimei Safri, at the end of which he shaves again. So this is going to be his second haircut. V'chadal Safik to Masai. And then the next haircut, 30 days later, carries that possibility that he's really a Nazir Tummy, and he has to bring karbonis accordingly, as we explained before. And finally, Tiglachas Revis, maybe carbon Tahara Masni. The fourth haircut, on day 120, has only one purpose, Tiglachas of Nazirus Tahara. He certainly cleared up all the possibilities, all his tumas, all his negayim. So now he brings a set of karbonis on account of his Nazirus Tahara Masni, and he conditions. He says like this: if, originally back then I was just a plain Nazir, and not a Mitzvah, and not a Nazir Tamei. So Oila Harishona, remember, he's bringing many Oilas. His first Oilas Behema was brought, on day 30. And in fact, he was just a plain Nazir Tar. Well, that Oila counted towards his Nazirus. Oila Rishona, that's, my Chayva, that's my obligatory carbon. V'zunadav, and the Oila I'm bringing now is just a donation. It's a redundant, carbon. Vim Tamei Muchlatu. And if in fact I was really a Metzera and a Nazir Tamei, Oila Harishana Nadava. So all those oilas that I brought were just donations, unnecessary carbonates. Vizu Chayva, and this one right now is my Chayva. Because finally I'm coming to the conclusion of Nazirus Tahara for the first time. Vizeshar Karbonai, and the rest that I'm bringing now, the Oila, the Chatas, and the Shlomim, that's the rest of my carbonates. Okay? So this is for the first of 4 possibilities. I'm going to see 3 more in the 3 more scenarios presented in the Gemara coming up. So in this case, we have a fellow who's a suffix all around. He knows he's a Nazir, but Nazir Tami or Nazir Tar? Am I a Mitzera? Am I not? So he has to cover all possibilities, address all concerns, and this takes him a total of 120 days. He waits 30, he shaves. Waits 30, shaves again. Now he's able to eat karbanis because he's certainly free of tzaras after 2 haircuts. But maybe I'm still a Nazir tummy. 30, shave. And now finally, he's certainly a Nazir tar, 30, and shave again, and he's done. He could drink wine and become tummy. Here comes case number 2. Tamei safik u muchlat vadai. I'm not sure whether I became tummy, which makes me a Nazir tummy, but I know with certainty I'm a mitzvah. Okay, so I need 2 haircuts to allow me, to eat karbanis. Otherwise, I'm a mechusar kippurim. We explained before, right? A mitzvah cannot access karbanis. So first, I have to take care of that, and that's why the Gemara says "Eichel b'kachem la'achar shmoini yom." So I shave once today. Right? First, I have to address my tzaras, and I'm a vadai mitzvah, as opposed to the previous case where I didn't know whether I was a mitzvah. Now, I am certainly a mitzvah. So that takes priority. That comes first. Shave today. Well, obviously the nega is gone, right? I'm ready to be mitayr myself. I shave today. Count 7 days. On day 7, I shave again. Right? And then next day I bring my karbonis. Oichel b'kachem la'achar shmani yomim. Now I can have karbonis. I'm no longer mechusa kippurim. I can eat karbonis. What about the Nazirus part of me? Well, I'm not sure whether I was a Nazir tahar or tameh. So now I have to account for those possibilities. So 30 days, and then shave for the Nazirus possibility of Nazirus tameh, Nazir tameh, another 30 days for the Nazirus tahara. So 60 days beyond the 7 will be required to allow me wine and allow me tumas meis. A total of 67 days. Right? Very simple. First, I'm a mitzvah. Shave today, shave in 6 days, a total of 7 days there. Then 30 days, maybe I'm a Nazir tameh. And then 30 days for Nazir tahara, a total of 67 days, after which I'm certainly out of the woods. On day 68, I can drink wine. Third case, muchlat safik. Suppose I'm not sure whether I'm a mitzvah, but I know with certainty I'm a Nazir tameh, v'tameh v'andei atash tameis. So what happens now? So in case I'm a mitzvah, I need 2 haircuts, right? But I have to address the tumah. I'm certainly a tamei meis. So eichel b'kachem l'achar shloshim v'shiv oyamim. I will have access to achilas kachem after 37 days. V'shoyse yayin tamal meisim l'achar shivim v'arba yamim. But to drink wine and become tamei, to know with certainty that I'm no longer a Nazir, for that I have to wait 74 days. Now, how we get to this number is like this. We learned in the Mishnah that only a mitzvah vadai's haircut overrides the isser teglachas of mitzvah. But in this case, we're not sure. He's only a suffix mitzvah. So he can't just take a haircut today. He must be concerned that perhaps he's not a mitzvah, just a plain Nazir tameh. So it's only after the 7-day wait period of a Nazir tameh, the hazah paraduma on the 3rd and the 7th. After those 7 days, he can take his haircut, just in case he's a Nazir tameh and not a mitzvah. And this can technically count and be applied to the mitzvah as well as the first haircut of the mitzvah, if in fact he is a mitzvah and the tzaras haircut comes first, right? So we're playing both sides of the coin. And then he waits 30 more days. Again, if it was really a mitzvah, wouldn't be an issue. He would just take a haircut 7 days later and be considered haircut 2 of the mitzvah. But he doesn't know. Maybe he's not a mitzvah. Maybe he's just a Nazir tameh. So he has to wait 30 days because now he's no longer a Nazir tameh. He already got rid of that tumah. He's just a Nazir tahar. So he has to wait 30 days, after which he takes another haircut. Now, At this point, he's mutter b'kachim because he's certainly not a mitzvah. He already had both haircuts of the mitzvah, if he was, in fact, a mitzvah. And if that's the case, maybe he's now going to address the Nazir's tumah, which is always addressed after the tzaras. So now he has to wait 7 more days for the next haircut, which is the process of the Nazir's tumah. 7 days and then a haircut. And now he's certainly out of the woods. He's no longer a tummy, he's not a mitzvah. He can finally approach the Nazir's tahara with clarity. 30 more days, shaves. So it's a total of 74 days. 7, first haircut. 30, second haircut. He mutter b'kachim. Another 7 for the third haircut. Another 30 for the fourth haircut. A total of 74 days. On day 75, he's no longer tummy or a nazir. He's mutter b'yayin. Case number 4. Rather simple case. Tummy vadei or mochlat vadei. I was a nazir. I know I touched the mace. I'm tummy. I know I became a mitzvah. So what are the numbers in this case? How do I satisfy all the chiyuvim, all the haircuts and all the karbanis? Now that I'm vadai mitzvah, I'm allowed to do successive haircuts on account of the tzaras. One today and one 6 days later on day 7. And those are considered teglachas 1 and 2 of tzaras. Now I can eat kachim. I'm no longer mechusar kippurim. I'm no longer mitzvah. But I'm still a nazir. But I'm a nazir tamei. 7 days for that. Right? Now I can shave as a nazir tamei. And now I'm finally approaching Nazir's tahara. 30 more days and shave for a total of 44 days. On day 45, I'm mutar b'yayin. V'shoyse yayin u'metamel meisem la'achar arba'im v'arba'a yamim. So we addressed all 4 possibilities and all the different details and all the processes that need to be applied to address all scenarios and all possibilities. In the case of the tamei b'safek and mitzvah b'safek, it's a 120-day process. Tamei b'safek and mitzvah b'vadai, 67-day process. Tamei vadai and mitzvah b'safek, 74 days. Both vadai, it's only 44 days. So when you know what's going on, it takes less time. It's more efficient. When it's a tamei and mitzvah vadai, the least amount of time, 44 days, and you're done. So we are working with the notion that haircuts can't be crossed over and shared. Teglachas of mitzvah cannot count for nazirus and vice versa. But in fact, there was a give and take on this. Shalu Talmidav es Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai. Rabbi Shimon's Talmidim asked him, is that so? Nazir tahir u'mitzayra. Suppose he was a mitzvah, he's no longer. He's trying to get out of it. He's trying to go through the purification process and shave for the tzaras. And he knows that he's done his nazirus as well. Could he do one haircut? Could he save one haircut for both? A nazir tahir. And he's done, the 30 days. And he's also done his tzaras. Could he do one shave and have it count both ways? Amar Lani said no, and this is in line with the precept we've been working through the whole sugya here. Amar Lani, no, you can't share haircuts. Amar Lani, question was, why? Rebbe, tell us why. Amar Lani tells him like this. Each haircut has its own characteristics, its own flavor, its own purpose. If the haircut of a nazir and the haircut of the mitzvah both have the same purpose, they were there to facilitate further growth, to prepare him for the next haircut. Or, conversely, both haircuts were meant for hair removal, to clean him of his hair. Okay, then in fact we can perhaps suggest as you did. Yafatem, perhaps we can use the same haircut for both. But it's not so. Each one has a different purpose, a different goal in mind. Achshav Nazir lahaver. Now that we know that the haircut of the Nazir is to remove his hair, which he had grown throughout the Nazirus. U'mitzir, as opposed to the first haircut of the Mitzir, which is legadal, is to facilitate further growth, to prepare him for the next haircut at the end of those 7 days. So it's a different ma'asa, a different mitzvah, a different type of teglachas. You can't mix them up. Okay, I understand that the Nazirus, the teglachas Nazirus, which is meant lahaver, to remove the hair which was grown throughout the Nazirus period, cannot count towards the first haircut of the Mitzvah, which is meant legadal, to facilitate further growth. Okay, but v'tzadaloi l'mei safaroi, let the haircut of the Nazir, which is lahaver, work and be applied and serve as a second haircut at the end of the 7-day count of the Mitzvah, with a haircut there as well, is just lahaver, to remove that hair. It's not legadal, he's done. So why can't you do that? Why can't they share haircuts? Varmalani told him there's another discrepancy, and therefore they don't match. Ilu zelef nezrikas damim, v'zelef nezrikas damim. You see, in both cases, the Nazir and the Mitzvah have to bring there are karbanis involved. So if both haircuts were to take place before the zrika of the karbanis, yafatem imrim, then in fact they match. But it's not so. Elo. Mitzvah elef nezrikas damim. The Mitzvah's second haircut at the end of his 7-day count takes place before the karbanis. V'nazir la'achazrikas damim, as opposed to the teglachas of Nazir, which is after his karbanis, and it doesn't work. Okay, I understand why the haircut cannot be applied for the tzaras and for the Nazirus, tahara. What about the teglachas of tzaras can perhaps also be applied to the teglachas of a Nazir tameh? Why is this different? Because in this case, the giluach takes place before the zrikas damim. It's a ras, does it that way, and the Nazir tameh does it that way as well. So why can't you count it for both? Amar Lani told him there's another distinction. Ilu zelef nebias maim, v'zelef nebias maim. If in both cases the haircut would take place before he's toivel, okay, yavatim imrim, I can compare the two. Ella, it's not so. Tamei la'achar bias maim. The Nazir who was tamei goes through the purification process, he's toivel, and then he shaves. As opposed to the mitzvah lefnei bias maim, the haircut sort of facilitates his tahara as before the mikvah, so you can't compare. Continues the Gemara with a slightly different version of this discussion. Amar Loi, the Talmidim asked their Rebbe, Yaf Amarta, we fully understand what you said. Shlei talaloi lemei sefaroi, ule nazirusai. You can't use the same haircut for the Mitzorah at haircut number 2, lemei sefaroi, which takes place before Zrikas Dam, before the Karbanis, ule nazirusai, and to have that work for the culmination of Nazirus as well, the regular Nazirus, because that's after the Karbanis. So you can't combine. But v'talaloi l'mechilutoi v'tumasoi. We have another question. What about the first teglachas, the mechalutoi of the Mitzvah? And if he happens to be a Nazir Tomei, so he's just finished his Tumah, he finished his Nazir, he's finished his Tzaras, he wants to do one combined haircut for both. The zelagadal v'zelagadal, because both haircuts. Haircut number 1 of the Mitzvah is meant to facilitate further growth in preparation for the second haircut, and likewise, the teglachas at the end of Nazirus Tumah is also meant as a preparation for the new growth come the new Nazirus. The zelagadal v'zelagadal, so why can't you match them up? Amar Lani tells him, look, it's as simple as this. Nothing matches up. Because Nazir Tahar v'hu Mitzorah, the standard teglachas of a Nazir Tahar, to apply that for teglachas Mitzorah, and that doesn't work. Why? Zel legadal v'zel lahavir. Your haircut at the end of Nazirus is lahaver, to remove the hair which he had already grown throughout the Nazirus, as opposed to the haircut of Yimei Chilutai, that's to facilitate further growth in preparation for the second Mitzvah haircut. So it doesn't really match up. V'im Nazir Tamei v'hu Mitzvah. Now let's combine the tiglachas of a Nazir Tamei with the tiglachas of a Mitzvah, speaking again about haircut number 1 of the Mitzvah. Well, once again, there's a difference. So although, on the one hand, in both cases, they are meant for ligadel, right? The Nazir Tami is just trying to prepare for the new Nazirus, and the Mitzvah is preparing for the second tiglachas. So you don't have that, discrepancy, but still there's a difference. Zelifnei bias mayim, v'zel achar bias mayim. Tiglachas of the Mitzvah, number 1, that's before immersion in a mikveh, as opposed to the tiglachas of Nazir Tami is la'achar bias mayim. Tani Rabbi Yehuda. So Rabbi Yehuda actually mentioned all these, most of these factors in his brisa as well. Why can't we mix and match? Why can't we combine one with the other? Tani Rabbi Yehuda. Because if you want to compare and combine a Nazir with a Mitzvah, you run into a discrepancy. Zel lifnei bias mayim, v'zel achar bias mayim. Let's say we're going to combine the tiglachas of a Nazir Tzami with the tiglachas number 1 of a Mitzvah. Well, that tiglachas of Mitzvah is before bias mayim, before the mikvah, as opposed to the tiglachas of Nazir Tzami, which is after bias mayim. What about comparing the Mitzvah with a Nazir Toher? Once again, we have a difference. Zel lifnei zrikas damim, v'zel achar zrikas damim. If you want to compare the Nazir Toher's haircut with the haircut of the Mitzvah, haircut number 2, so there's a difference again, because the Mitzvah, his haircut takes place before his karbanos, as opposed to the tiglachas of Nazir Torah, which is after zrikas damim. So bottom line is we have 3 differences here. And when we apply those differences, we see that we can't combine the various haircuts. So we have one difference, which is legadel and laha'avir. A Nazir Toher, he's meant to remove his hair, laha'avir, as opposed to a Nazir Tami, which is legadel, because it's there to facilitate further regrowth in preparation for the new Nazirus. The first tiglachas of Mitzvah, called Yimei Chilutai, is there legadel, to prepare for the second part of that tiglachas 7 days away. The second tiglachas of Mitzvah, Yimei Safrei, that's to remove lahavir. We have 2 more factors here. The zrikas damim factor. So Nazir Torah, his tiglachas takes place after zrikas damim, as opposed to the second tiglachas of a Mitzvah, Yimei Safrei, which is before zrikas damim. And regarding Nazir Tamei, we have la'achar bias mayim, as opposed to the first tiglachas of a Mitzvah, which is lifnei bias mayim. So all these factors serve to disconnect the various haircuts and to explain why we can't combine one with the other. Okay, let's do a quick summary of today's daf. We had 4 situations where we were dealing with a possible tumah in a nazirus and a possible tzuras as well. And we have to address all possibilities, and as such we end up with a jumbo, extra long nazirus to accommodate all the haircuts required, and as well as all the karbanis required to cover all possibilities and address and satisfy all the requirements. Bottom line is, you can't do a tiglachas mitzvah if you're not sure that it's justified. You can't do it at the expense of nazirus unless you know it's necessary. And that requires all this delay, waiting around to cover all possibilities. And another thing we learned is that you have to first satisfy the tzaras before you can go ahead and focus on the nazirus and the nazirus tmeya. And one last question was, why can't we just use one haircut for both purposes? Suppose he's finished his nazirus, he's finished his tzaras. Well, you can't just do one haircut for both, and we explained because there are many factors which set them apart, primarily the idea of L'gadol Lahavir, La'achar Zrikas Damim, L'fnei Zrikas Damim, and L'fnei Bias Mayim, and La'achar Bias Mayim. All the best to you and much Hatzlach.